There's also a lot of ground to cover tonight on the politics of war and national security. For that, we turn to MSNBC political analyst Howard Fineman, who's senior Washington correspondent for Newsweek magazine. Hi, Howard.
Hi, Rachel.
In his op-ed today in the New York Times, Obama mentions the possibility of tactical adjustments to his 16-month plan for withdrawing from Iraq. Is Obama courting the flip-flop label again? Or at this point, is there starting to be a little political shine on the idea of listening to the folks on the ground, considering facts on the ground instead of sticking to the plot line no matter what?
Well, it's a fine line, as you know, between one man's grounded realism and another's flip-flopping. I think what Obama's trying to do here with this op-ed and with the speech he's going to give tomorrow, Rachel, is to try to reassert control over an issue that defined him, that really put him on the national stage to begin with, which was his opposition to the invasion of Iraq, these many years ago. As Richard Clarke said, Obama has had a knack for seeing over the horizon on some of these issues, even though he doesn't seem to have the experience on the ground to do so. He's trying to say, here are the next steps I want to take, asserting the need to put more troops in Afghanistan, which is a bold move in and of itself, and basically trying to say, look, this is where I've been, this is where I'm going to be, I'm going to be realistic. The only problem he's got, I think, was timing. I think to have this op-ed piece today in advance of going to Iraq and to once again committing himself to that 16-month timetable before he actually goes back to Iraq, I think shows that there was a political task to be done with this op-ed, which is to reassure the left wing of his own party that he still was the guy that they first fell in love with a few years ago.
I saw in the op-ed a real effort to try to make a timeliness claim, I think, about the fact that Maliki and others in the Iraqi government are saying, we are ready for you to plan to leave, if not leave already. He's trying essentially to say there's an opportunity here for a pivot point on Iraq policy. There's an opportunity here where America has a choice. Do you want to make the Bush-McCain choice, or do you want to make the new choice? And it may be that his political timing has been driven by, for lack of a better phrase, by the conditions on the ground there.
I think that's right. He hasn't seen them up close himself, but you're absolutely right. I think Maliki's statements about wanting the American troops to be on a timetable for withdrawal played directly into Barack Obama's hands. And he wanted this op-ed piece to try to get control of this issue again, Rachel. I can't state it more specifically than that. He's got to get control of it. That's the reason for the op-ed, the interviews he's given on this topic, and this big speech he's going to give tomorrow, to show that he has a broader vision for what to do going forward that's better and shrewder than John McCain's.
Back to the issue of McCain for a second. Because McCain can no longer criticize Obama for not going to Iraq, in his speech today, McCain said Obama should also visit South America. McCain also referred to Czechoslovakia today, which is a country that hasn't existed for 15 years or so. He has cited Czechoslovakia before on the campaign trail. McCain has had this, I have been in the Senate longer and have more stamps in my passport line of attack against Obama. Is that undercut by McCain frequently and surprisingly getting details like this wrong?
Well, it's true that he's better traveled, as you say. It's true that he has more stamps in his passport. But a presidential campaign is not a contest about airline miles. It's about judgment. And Obama has made some pretty shrewd calls on the dangers of Afghanistan, on the problems of Pakistan, on the exhaustion of the troops, on the overstretching of our budgets. And that's got to be Obama's claim. McCain comes from the warrior class. Nobody denies him that. If you read his books, if you know his story, son and grandson of admirals, I mean, the guy knows war. He knows a lot about the world. But what Obama is saying is that I offer a new kind of global leadership in which I know how to listen, in which I'm open to understanding other cultures on their terms, not seen through military eyes, but through the eyes of individuals to individuals. That's what Obama's saying. Obama's challenge is to make that not look naive, but make it look smart.
One last question, Howard. If Obama didn't make plans to visit Iraq, he would be criticized by McCain for it. We've seen that already. If, when Obama does visit Iraq, he concludes the U.S. needs to formulate withdrawal plans, he will be criticized by McCain for that. We can see that coming. Even if Obama, hypothetically, went to Iraq and decided we need to stay there for 100 years, he would be criticized by McCain for changing his position to side with McCain. There's no scenario in which he's not going to come under attack on the issue of Iraq. Senator McCain likes to talk about Iraq. Do you see the Obama campaign figuring out that it doesn't help to try to make decisions based on anticipated criticism, because he's going to get criticized no matter what he does.
Yeah, that's what this speech tomorrow is about. I talked to David Axelrod, the guy who's really running the Obama campaign. I said, what's going on? He said, look, this speech tomorrow, we're going to try to show that there is no broad plan for the whole world on the McCain side. We have a comprehensive view of the world, and we're going to lay that out starting tomorrow. So, yes, the Obama campaign's trying to quit looking at the McCain sort of bomber buzzing around Obama's head and give a longer statement of where they hope to take the country and the world.
Howard Feynman of Newsweek and MSNBC, thanks for joining us tonight.